Welcome back guys, this time for my early wipe farming keys and safe guide. I personally farm keys and saves on customs as between 3 and 2 stories you can find a total of 27 jackets and 5 safes. In addition, there are a total of 6 filing cabinets and a couple of PC blocks. I do massively recommend bringing something to store keys to expand the number of keys we can loot, or highly recommend using a documents case for this, as it can take keys, money, and items that we will commonly find in filing cabinets such as SAS drives, diaries, and USBs. This run does require you to have some keys in order to get the maximum profits. You can see these on the screen right now, but I will outline every key that is needed as we go along, and if it's a key to sell, keep hold of, or bring on every run with you. But let's get into it. All the room numbers are in the description below if you would like to have something to look at on the side while doing this route. We will start off on the first floor of 3-story coming from the side. We will first loot the jackets in rooms 101, 104 and 105. We will take the first door on the right and then simply move diagonal across from room to room, so one along and opposite. We will then check the guard room. Next to this TV is a static factory key spawn and a filing cabinet. After this you can move up to 2nd floor unless you have some keys. Moving into the L on 1st floor, we can check the sofa here for possible high loot such as bitcoins and GPUs. Then we have the locked cat room, which is number 108, which has a filing cabinet and a PC block. This is not a must-have key in my opinion, and not one I usually carry with me. However, it is a nice one to have, and it's essentially up to you if you want to bring this along. Opposite the cat room here, we have a shelf which has a spawn chance for car batteries, spark plugs and similar items. Then moving further into the L, we have the room 117, which has a filing cabinet. I remember this one as it is the room next to the jump-in room from the outside. Not a lot of people know about this one, even late into the raid this can be unlooted. Opposite this is the locked room 118, which has 2 jackets inside of, and usually a key I take with me as I'm trying to maximize every jacket we can loot. Now moving up to 2nd floor, we will again start from the side, and this time we'll have 2 jackets on the left side instead. There is also a med spawn on the bedside table here. Next along is the locked room 204, which has a gun locker and a safe inside. This is a key I definitely recommend bringing along. Opposite this, we have the locked room 203, which doesn't have much in it other than a bag, and not a key I recommend bringing every time. However, this is a key to keep, as you will need to enter it to pick up a suitcase from under the bed for the quest Shaken Up Teller. So if you do find one, make sure to keep at least one. So moving along, we can jump onto the bed, and on the left we have room 206 with a PC block inside of it, and to the right we have room 205, which has a jacket that has a static machinery key spawn, and another jacket which is just like every other normal jacket. I tend to skip each jacket and the PC personally, but it's up to you which part of the route you like to run. I personally don't like being stuck in a room that I need to jump out of. Moving down past the stairs, on the left opposite room 211, we get into the showers with a black weapon crate, and the kitchen with 3 green weapon crates and some loose food spawns. But again, I tend to skip this as we are here for keys and safes mainly. Moving down to the end of the hallway, we get to the locked room 214, which is a must-have key in my opinion. The room has a safe, some loose loot including ammo, and a potential 203 key spawn in this red cup here. Moving down into the L, we can walk past this shelf, which usually spawns some sort of magazine with some decent ammo in it. Then we have room 215, which has a chance to spawn the Arsenal storage room key for labs, which sells for a nice sum to Therapist, although I don't see this very often at all. Moving along, we have room 221, which has 2 jackets on the floor, and opposite this is 220, which is a very important key. This is a quest room key for Chemical Part 2, where you can pick up the flash drive next to the laptop and find the document you need up on the shelf. In addition, it does have a jacket and a bag, and it has a potential ZB104 key, which can spawn on the desk, which is for the woods bunker, giving you an extra exit if you spawn on the right side of the map. Leaving the room and turning left, the next door is room 218. This is not a quest room. It has some loose loot like weapons and weapon mods, but it's not something I recommend taking with you. Now moving up to the 3rd floor, again coming from the side entrance, we take the first room on the right, which is number 301. You may have noticed that the first room on each floor has 2 jackets and goes in the zigzag. So the 1st floor right, 2nd floor left, and the 3rd floor is right again. The room along from 301 is the locked quest room 303, which is required early for the quest Golden Swag. Other than bringing it in to do the quest, I don't recommend bringing this along, as it only has a green crate otherwise. If you do bring it in however for the Golden Zipper quest, do make sure to bring the cabin key, as you will need to store it, otherwise you'll need to go back into raid and potentially lose it if you die. So moving along towards the stairs, we have this little cupboard, and on top of that there is actually a medical spawn, so if you ever do need something desperately, it's a nice spot to check. So moving along, continuously ignoring all other rooms, we'll get to the mag room. Diagonally across from the marked room 314 is room 310, which can spawn a backpack on the floor here and has 2 jackets inside the wardrobe. And last but not least, as just mentioned, the locked marked room, which can spawn all sorts of items, and it is required for the task The Cult Part 2, so if you do find one, keep at least 1 charge on the key. So let's move over to 2-story dorms coming in from the front. We have the locked dorm scout desk room, which has some ammo boxes as well as a weapon rack, a weapon box, and the potential of the 104 and 105 key in the wall key holder, which are nice keys to have, and we'll cover them in just a moment. Moving down the hallway, we have a green weapon crate here and a duffel bag, which I usually skip, a weapon case in 107, which I also usually skip, and then room 108, which has 2 jackets and a bag. Diagonal across, we can loot this dead scaff inside of the showers, which can also spawn the previously mentioned guard desk key. Moving along down the hallway, we come to 2 must-have keys. Locked room 110, which has a safe and barter items spawn on here, and opposite is the locked room 114, which has a med case, a PC, and a safe, and is also a quest room for the quest pharmacist, which requires you to pick up a case from on top of the PC. This key is very valuable, and you should 100% keep it if you find it. Moving upstairs, we'll turn left all the way to the end of the hallway to room 201 to loot the 2 filing cabinets. Then diagonally across, we'll open this door to room 202, which has 2 jackets on the wall, and we'll then move along to the room 204. You can simply walk through this mesh wire to loot the cabinet, and you will take some damage, so it's up to you if you want to loot it or not. It is also incredibly loud, so do bear that in mind. Along from this is the locked room 206, which is required for an early task called Operation Aquarius Part 1. This key can be traded from Therapist Level 1 for 7 piles of meds. You do only have to enter the room, and if you die, you can still complete the task, so you may be able to find this door open late into the raid. Moving along further down the hallway, on the right we'll come to a shower room with 2 jackets, and directly across is room 211, which has 2 more jackets. This is where I usually move on back downstairs, but you can loot the sport bags in room 218 and some weapon crates in 215 and 216. Moving on from this, I usually run all the way back to the toilets opposite room 201, jump out of the window trying to drop into this window. Or if that fails, jump up using this blue barrel so we can get behind the linked fence to loot the locked room 105, which is a must-have key, as it has some loose loot and a safe again, and then the locked room opposite 104, which has 2 jackets and a toolbox. Some extra keys I also tend to carry that are not related to dorms are the gas office key, as it has a safe, and the portable cabin key, as it has 3 jackets. These rooms you can usually pick up on the way from spawn or to extract, depending on where you spawn. If you spawn by the trailer park, you should loot the cabin and also check this seat on in this bus, as it can spawn the West 301 key. I also tend to loot this building as it has 2 jackets, a filing cabinet, a sports bag, and a weapon crate. Additionally, you can also move to loot Director's Office as it has 3 PCs, 1 jacket, a sports bag, and a safe. That outlines my personal main areas I like to loot for jackets. Right now in the background, you can see some footage of other jackets found around customs, which you may be able to pick up depending on your routing for the map. In addition, it might be worth learning where the stashes are, as picking up stashes on the way between these locations can also massively increase your value potential. Other than that, I appreciate you taking your time to watch this guide, and if you could leave a like or dislike, whichever you feel is more appropriate, I would really appreciate it. Please leave anything in the comment you think I may have missed, but other than that, subscribe for more videos, and I hope you enjoy this wipe. I also stream over at twitch.tv/Fragger224, and I would love to see you come in and say hi. Nice.